Most of us think that to get better, we have to add more to our lives, right? More habits, more goals, more hustle. But what if real, lasting growth actually comes from subtracting? Yeah, let's dive into that because we're about to uncover 9 invisible anchors that are quietly draining your energy and holding you back from who you're really meant to be.
And that's really the heart of it, isn't it? These anchors are so sneaky. They disguise themselves as just normal life, but they're silently stealing your energy, your time, and your potential. So the very first step is just seeing them for what they truly are. So forget about a new, overwhelming to-do list. This is all about your to-don't list. We're going to walk through the things you can just quietly eliminate from your life to get back your focus and, way more importantly, your freedom. Okay, let's start with the battle that's happening inside all of us. Because before we can even begin to deal with the outside world, we have to face the saboteurs that we carry around in our own minds. These are the first and honestly probably the most powerful anchors of all. So, anchor number 1, people pleasing. A lot of us are practically trained from childhood to seek approval. But here's the thing, that habit is incredibly dangerous as an adult. When you need everyone to like you and get you, you start making decisions based on fear instead of your own vision. You end up choosing the safe path, not the path that's right for you.
There's actually a psychological term for this. It's called social validation dependency. It's basically this deep-seated belief that your own inner peace depends entirely on what someone else thinks of you. But here's a little secret. Once you accept that most people will never fully understand your journey and that that's totally okay, you free yourself from that constant, exhausting weight.
So how do you even start breaking free? It's actually pretty simple. Just try this. This week, make one tiny decision that's 100% for you. Maybe order the meal you actually want, not the one everyone else is getting. Or say that opinion you've been holding back. You'll notice pretty fast that the world doesn't end. And that little taste of freedom, that's what you build on. All right, anchor number 2. It's that voice in your head. Now, that voice can be your greatest cheerleader or your absolute worst enemy. And for so many of us, it's an internal bully, right? It's constantly whispering things like, you're not good enough, or you're definitely going to fail. And the scary part is, after a while, we start believing it's the truth. I mean, this quote just nails how absurd it is. Just think about it for a second. Would you ever say the things you say to yourself to a friend? Of course not. So why on earth do we think it's okay to say them to ourselves? The good news is you can actually rewire this. The first step is just to notice the thought. Don't judge it, just see it. Then stop and challenge it. Ask yourself, is that really true? And finally, reframe it. So instead of I'm failing at this, you switch it to I'm learning this. That one single word change, it can literally rewire your entire mindset. Okay, so we've looked inward. Now let's turn our attention to the outside world. We're moving from those internal saboteurs to the next set of anchors. All those external things in your environment that are quietly draining your energy, day in and day out. Our next anchor is all about the energy of other people. You've probably heard that saying before, but it's grounded in real science. There's this concept called emotional contagion, and what the research shows is that emotions are literally contagious. When you're constantly around negative or draining people, your brain actually starts to mirror their patterns. Their energy becomes your new normal. So, it's time to take stock. Do a quick energy audit. Just list the people you see the most often and be brutally honest. Do they add energy or do they drain it? For the drainers, you have to intentionally, consciously create some distance. And remember, setting a boundary isn't selfish. It's absolutely essential for your survival. And of course, there's the giant anchor of the social media trap. We are constantly comparing our messy, real, behind-the-scenes life to everyone else's perfectly curated highlight reel. You see that perfect relationship, but you don't see the therapy sessions. You see the fancy lifestyle, but not the 18-hour workdays that fuel it. This kind of comparison is a guaranteed recipe for unhappiness. It doesn't motivate you, it just destroys your joy. Let's just be crystal clear about this next one. Multitasking is a complete myth. Your brain cannot, I repeat, cannot focus on 2 complex things at the same time. What you're really doing is called task switching, and every single time you switch, you lose focus and mental energy. It literally rewires your brain to crave distraction, which makes deep, meaningful work almost impossible. So the antidote to the scattered brain feeling is so simple. It's focus blocking. You just pick one single task, set a timer for 25 minutes, and for that time, you give it your undivided attention. No phone, no email notifications, no other tabs open. Then, when the timer goes off, you take a quick 5-minute break. I promise you, you will get more done in a few of these blocks than in a full day of scattered, distracted work.
Okay, we've talked about the saboteurs inside us and the energy drains outside us, but what's underneath it all? Let's get to the two foundational lies that sit at the absolute core of our struggle. These are the beliefs that give all the other anchors their power.
It's a fair question, right? After all this, why do we get caught in these same traps over and over again? Why do we feel this constant nagging need to chase approval, to please everyone, and to prove that we're worthy? Well, it's because most of us have bought into two very powerful and very destructive lies. Now, this one is deep. It's this silent, damaging belief that your worth is directly tied to what you achieve. It usually starts in childhood, where you get rewarded for good grades or winning the game, not just for being you. So now, as adults, we chase accomplishments to feel valid, because we believe we have to earn our right to rest, to be happy, to simply exist. But here is the fundamental truth. Your worth is inherent. You are born with it. It isn't given to you by a promotion or a degree or by anyone else's approval. You deserve peace right now, in this very moment, exactly as you are. You don't have to wait for the applause. And the second huge foundational lie is that you have forever. Now, intellectually, we all know our time is limited, but we live as if we're immortal, don't we? We're always saying, oh, I'll start tomorrow, or I'll get to that next year. We're constantly putting off our real lives, waiting for some perfect moment that, let's be honest, is never going to arrive. Steve Jobs understood this better than almost anyone. And look, this awareness of mortality isn't supposed to be morbid or depressing. It's a tool for clarity. It just cuts through all the trivial fears and the day-to-day nonsense and forces you to ask, is this really how I want to be spending my precious, limited time? So, we've identified the anchors. We understand the lies that give them power. Now comes the most important part of all, turning this insight into real, meaningful action. Because, let's face it, information is totally useless without implementation. Okay, so here's your mission. The goal is not perfection. The goal is freedom. You don't have to tackle all of these anchors at once. That would be completely overwhelming. Your challenge is simple. Just pick one, the one that really hit home for you, and commit to removing it, starting right now, today. 5 years from now, you're going to arrive somewhere. The only question is where. Will you be in the exact same place, held down by the same old anchors? Or will you be somewhere completely, radically different? It all comes down to the actions you take when this is over. So, the clock is ticking. What are you going to do about it?